Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Kaldheim draft guide where I talk about the top 10 draft combos that you can assemble in your Kaldheim drafts. Before I dive in, I do want to remind you that if you enjoy this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you get notified when I post all of that Kaldheim goodness, and leave a comment in the comment section down below with your questions or feedback. If you would like to support my content directly, you can do so via the Patreon, patreon.com/NicolaiBolas, and if you do become a patron, you can even gain access to my Kaldheim card-by-card grade list. But without further ado, let's dive on in. I have given each of these combos a fancy little name to help you remember it, and I hope you enjoy those because I really did enjoy coming up with those. So, combo number 10, A Farmer's Life. The classic combo between an ox and the plow that the ox pulls. Giant Ox is a 0/6, but it can tap to creatures with its toughness rather than its power, and that fits perfectly with Colossal Plow, which requires crew 6 to crew. Now, I'm not saying this combo is good, but I think it is a sweet design nonetheless, and if you do have a couple Giant Oxen, maybe you can use the Colossal Plow to good effect, because if you are hitting them with it, it's a 2-mana 6/3, so definitely lets you use those Oxen to good effect, and is a sweet combo in Kaldheim. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. I just love when I recognized this combo, I was just like, my mind just got so happy all of a sudden. It was great. Moving on to number 9, Blue Suede removal. Now, blue doesn't typically get removal in the conventional sense of kill your creature, but with this little combination, you can do so. So basically, on your opponent's end step, you use Run Ashore, and they can put target non-land permanent on top or bottom of their library, and if they choose to put it on the top of their library, which they will often do, because you'll want to be putting something nice up, like you'll be wanting to return something nice to the top of their library that is expensive and good, they're going to be getting it back the next turn. But what can you do to stop that? Well, Draugr Thought Thief has you covered. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top card of target player's library, which you can choose your opponent, and then you can put that card into their graveyard. So you've essentially killed their creature with a 2-card combo in blue, which is pretty sweet. If you can even do this where if Draugr Thought Thief is in play, you can return the Draugr Thought Thief to its owner's hand and return that to your hand as part of the combo. So you don't necessarily have to be saving the Thought Thief in hand. You can put their card on top of their library, put your Thought Thief into hand. Though if you do that, they're probably going to put their card on the bottom of their library. So it's usually better to have the Thought Thief in hand. But this is just a fancy way to get some removal into blue. Moving on to number 8, we've got the big bad Berserker. Deathnell Berserker has a pretty unique clause wherein if it dies and its power is 3 or greater, you create a 2/2 zombie Berserker creature token. But its power is only 2, so how can we stop that? How can we avoid that, circumnavigate that? How can we improve that power? We can use Demonic Gifts and give it +2/+0, and when it dies, you even get it back to the battlefield. So not only is it a combat trick that helps you win in combat, it also brings back the Deathnell Berserker and a 2/2 zombie to boot. So pretty cool little death trigger there. You can also combo the Deathnell Berserker with something like Valor of the Worthy, where you make it into a 3/3, and then when it dies, you not only get that Berserker zombie token, but you also get a spirit token, so you get that extra death trigger. So you get, essentially from Valor of the Worthy, when the creature leaves play, now you get an extra 2/2 to boot, so it makes Valor of the Worthy quite powerful. Moving on to number 7, we have Can't Touch This, and the obligatory dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun. But yeah, for those who understand the song and everyone else, they think I was doing a terrible job doing the dun-dun-dun-dun-dun Batman thing. But Giant's Amulet makes your creature hexproof as long as it is untapped, and so you won't be able to attack with that creature most of the time. However, if you do attack with the creature and have Wings of the Cosmos, even if your opponent goes for a removal spell in that brief window where they're like, oh yes, they've left the shields down, you use Wings of the Cosmos, untap your creature, and it now is untapped once more, and the removal spell will fizzle. However, you can also drink bigger, and use a angel token created by Valkyrie's Sword to make a vigilance creature, and then it never taps when it attacks. You put that Giant's Amulet on it, and all of a sudden you've got like a 6/6 flying vigilance hexproof, so pretty tough to beat. So that's a massive dream to have if you're going to be playing a blue-white control deck. Giant's Amulet, really sweet with those untaps and vigilance creatures. Moving on to number 6, this one already had a name. I couldn't really think of a better name for Steel and Sack. It's a classic Magic the Gathering strategy where you take your opponent's creature and then sacrifice it before you give it back. It's not a very kind thing to do, to like use up something that you're borrowing temporarily, but in Magic the Gathering, it's a ruthless sport, as they say. So you steal your opponent's creature with Shackles of Treachery, and then you Village Rites it away after you've attacked them with it and get those sweet draw 2, and also they lose their creature. If you have a little bit of fortune to get a uncommon and you get up to 7 mana, you can even do the same thing with Carter's Vicious Return. Shackles it up, attack them, sacrifice it to kill one of their other creatures with your Carter's Vicious Return. So Steel and Sack is back, and it is a classic. Now, we're moving on to the top 5 combos in Kaldheim draft. We've got number 5, Instant Gratification. This is the combo between Furia, Judge of Valor, and Scorn Effigy, where Furia is the type of card where your opponent's really going to want to kill it, so you kind of want to get that extra second spell cast trigger out of the way as soon as possible. And if you have foretelled a Scorn Effigy, then you can cast your Furia, immediately cast your Scorn Effigy from exile to get that sweet second spell trigger before your opponent has a chance to kill your Furia. So a really nice little combo there if you have the patience to save your Scorn Effigy till turn 5. You can also do a similar thing with Vega the Watcher, and this is even a nice little curve out because you foretell on turn 2, turn 3 cast Vega, and Scorn Effigy immediately to get that card draw. So you're not going to let your Vega die before it at least gets you one card. Moving on to number 4, we have Tap Them to Death. This one's not based on a saying, so don't waste any time thinking of it, but I was thinking of death by 1,000 taps, but it's only one tap. But Tap Them to Death, where your Iron Verdict is sometimes going to be useless if you're a more aggressive deck because your opponent's cards are not going to be tapped because they're going to be on blocking duty to stop your aggression. But if you have a Gold Mod champion, you can boast and then give them the Iron Verdict by dealing 5 to the creature after you've tapped it, which is really quite nice. If you're willing to move into blue, you can use something like Berg Strider to tap your opponent's creature before you Iron Verdict it, or if you're fortunate enough to get an Icebind Pillar and the Snowman is to support it, you can tap a creature with this and then Iron Verdict it. So your opponent doesn't have to attack you for you to deliver the Iron Verdict, the Fist of Justice, or in this case, the Axe of Justice. Moving on to number 3, Lethal Out of Left Field. This is an American saying, so for all of everyone who is more international, left field is a baseball term where there's someone just standing out in left field, and out of left field, I don't know exactly where the saying comes from, but it means unexpected. And this is certainly going to be unexpected when your opponent thinks that they're safe at a healthy 10 life or so, and all of a sudden you use the combo of Kaya's Onslaught plus Run Amok to deal 8 extra damage out of nowhere, where you have your Kaya's Onslaught either foretelled or just in your hand. You attack with a creature, they think, okay, fine, I can take that, whatever damage that is, and then all of a sudden you go Kaya's Onslaught, Run Amok, because giving double strike is certainly a powerful combination with an extra +3 power, so gives 8 damage out of nowhere. However, if you want to think bigger and you're lucky enough to get another uncommon, the Provoke of the Trolls, not of the Trolls, just Provoke the Trolls, you can use that with Kaya's Onslaught to deal an extra 12 damage out of nowhere if you have a big enough creature. So if you have a 3/3 creature, you can put the Kaya's Onslaught on it to make it a 4/4, then you use Provoke the Trolls, deal 3, it's still going to be alive with 1 toughness, and it's going to get +5/+0, so all of a sudden you have a 9/1 double striking creature, and you're hitting your opponent for 18 damage. You can also use it with a 4/4 creature to do an extra 20 damage, so literally out of left field, because they can be at a full 20 life and you'll still kill them because it becomes a 5/5 from Kaya's, then it becomes a 5/2 a 10-2 with thanks to Provoke the Trolls, and then a 22. So I guess you'd only deal 12 damage with the combo if you had a 0-powered creature to start with, but pretty fantastic little combo. Lethal Out of Left Field. Be on the lookout. Moving on to the number 2 combo. It pays to be of winter. Not gonna lie, pretty proud of this one. I think it's like a Navy SEAL saying, it pays to be a winner, and I don't know, it just flowed so naturally because it's Sculptor of Winter, you know. I'm pretty impressed with that one. I'm impressed by myself coming up with this one. I put a little bit of extra thought into it, you know. But the combo between Glittering Frost and Sculptor of Winter. Glittering Frost lets your land tap for an extra mana while also becoming snow, and Sculptor of Winter conveniently lets you untap a snow land. So not only is your Sculptor of Winter tapping for 1 mana, it's tapping for 2 colors of mana, which is absolutely fantastic. So you go turn 2 Sculptor of Winter, turn 3 Glittering Frost, and then you can even cast another 2-drop if you have one, or foretell a card, because Sculptor of Winter can untap the Glittering Frost land that you were using. And then on turn 4, you can go tap for 2 mana, untap, tap for 2 more mana. So you have 4 mana, and then you spend your other 3 mana to cast a 7-drop, which is just absolutely fantastic. So be on the lookout for those excellent little synergies in your snow decks. Moving on to the number 1 combo, 1 ping to kill them all. This is another one. I'm pretty proud of the little slogan for this one, but Haggai Mob lets you deal 1 damage to any target if you're willing to boast it, and Jarl of the Forsaken says destroy any target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls that was dealt damage this turn, and that's any damage, including the 1 damage from Haggai Mob. So you can either foretell the Jarl a little bit earlier in the game and then cast it for 2 mana, or if you get up to 6 mana, you can use your Haggai Mob and then just hard cast the Jarl of the Forsaken, ping any one of their creatures, no matter what size, and then flash in the Jarl to finish it off. If you're a little bit lucky, you can get a Rune of Mortality, which is an uncommon, and equip your Haggai Mob with the Rune of Mortality, and then you have unlimited Death Touch pings, which is the ultimate combo combo to assemble where your Haggai mob is just destroying things left, right, and center. Every time it attacks, just deal 2 damage to destroy your opponent's creature, which is just incredibly powerful. So the Haggai mob plus Rune of Mortality. Rune almost sounds like ring, which is the pun here. 1 ping, 1 ring to rule them all. Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Runes, we're kind of close here. And I'm sure the designers had this exact combo of Lord of the Rings puns plus Haggai mob when they designed the Rune of Mortality. Probably not, but you never know. I'm pretty excited to try this combo out. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But that is going to do it for this draft guide on the top 10 draft combos to assemble in Kaldheim. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that like button, also known as the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you get notified when I post future videos, including more Kaldheim content. And leave a comment if you have any questions or feedback in the comment section down below. If you want to let me know that you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave hashtag Kaldheim combos and let me know which one was your favorite. You can even put that in the hashtag too, like hashtag Kaldheim combos, hashtag 1 ping to rule them all, or something like that, or hashtag it pays to be of winter. Just awesome stuff like that. I love those little puns I came up with, or little playful riffs on classic sayings. But yeah, that is going to do it for this draft video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you next time.